This is Straight Talk with Atlanta native Greg Fann, the Preacher Man, and his sidekick Shanan Jones. Frank discussions of issues affecting the ATL, Fulton County, the state of Georgia, the nation, and around the world. And now, here they are, live and in living color, the team of Jones and Fann, the Preacher Man.
Bishop Greg Fann, the Preacher Man, inviting you to join us for a better understanding of dementia in the African American community on August the 26th from 7 to 8. The biggest problem we are faced with, or one of the problems we're faced with our families being shed in during these 17 months or more, is dementia. How do we deal with family members and friends and loved ones who have dementia? Well, there will be an individual who has dementia to talk about the problems they deal with and they face with dementia. You don't want to miss this valuable webinar and discussion on August the 26th from 7 to 8. Please register and be a part. The number is 770-686-7730. Again, call to register at 770-686-7730. It ain't nothing but straight talk. All right, welcome again to another edition of Straight Talk with the young man, myself, Shanan E. Jones. Hey, young man, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. All right. How you doing?
I'm doing great. You know, Shanan always tells me, he said, you keep calling me a young man, but I'm in my, what you say, you're close to your 50s?
47.
Yeah, you still a young man.
My brain, my knees hurt.
I didn't tell you to play football. Hey, you know what? You wearing the Steelers colors today. You know,
Yes.
we have, at that time of the year, you guys, Miss Shannon, we have to do this. We got to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Whoop. We won the last night against the Eagles. That's 2 wins for us in preseason.
Interesting.
Let me turn my cup around the other way.
You're not going to get a rise out of me.
Thank you so very much.
You're not gonna get a rise out of me.
Hey, we got an interesting program for
I'm
you
not going to
today.
feed into it.
We got an interesting program today with Shanan and myself. The program today is designed with you in mind. And we ask you to watch us on Facebook channels, Straight Talk. And we ask you to watch us again on YouTube and subscribe to our channel, Straight Talk Greg Fann on YouTube. And check us out. Subscribe to our channel. We appreciate you so very much. Do subscribe and share it with your Facebook friend and family and your YouTube friends and family, as we are doing all we can to put out all the information we can to help you to be more informed about what's really going on. Okay? So today, Shannon, who we got today, Shannon? Who are we going to talk to today?
We got Roger Bruce.
Roger Bruce.
We got Marvin Arrington.
Marvin Arrington.
Council member Shropshire.
Absolutely. So we're going to be talking about that. We got Hal Lamar with Black History Fact. We're talking about Mac Jones, who's from Atlanta, by the way.
Yeah.
Hal Lewis talks about a lot of people from Atlanta. Mac Jones played baseball. I went to Henry McTail High School, which is now KIPP Academy. So we're going to be talking more about that, and we're going to be telling you about get those shots. The numbers are going up.
Please.
You want to talk a little bit about that?
Man, just get the shot. I don't have anything else to say.
Nothing else to say.
I mean, I'm run out of. I mean, I was sitting up talking to a family member the other day for an hour and a half, and I'm just tired of dealing. If you don't want to get the shot, then don't get it. But you know what it's like?
What?
Man gets on a cruise ship, goes in his cabin, bored. So he decides that he's going to put a hole in his cabin and let the water come in. people next door to him said, "You're going to sink the ship." He said, "What I do in my cabin is what I do in my cabin." They said, "But what you're doing in your cabin is going to kill everybody in their cabins." That's the end of it.
Oh, man, great analogy. That's a great analogy. And I want to say, get the shot, because the life you save just may be your own.
And like I say, a shot in the arm beats a shot in the behind.
Oh, Shannon, you did say that, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
All right, we'll be right back. Shannon and I'll be back with more. Now, we're going to go on to Hal Lamar and Black History Facts. And then after Hal Lamar, with Black History Fact. Well, before Hal Lamar and Black History Fact, I want to invite you, encourage you to be a part of the webinar for dementia. You need to just know about that, because a lot of people have been closed in their home. A lot of people suffer with dementia, and the young lady's going to be on this webinar who has dementia is going to be talking about how she's dealing with dementia. You don't want to miss that webinar too. Then Hal will come with Black History Facts, and then Miss Shannon and I will be back to introduce our next guest, which will be Sharon Shropshire and Commissioner Marvin Arrington from District 5 from Fulton County. Sharon Shropshire is the East Point Councilwoman at large, Ward A. We'll be talking to them. We'll see you real soon on the other side. Greg Fann, the preacher man, with Black History Facts right here on Straight Talk with Brother Hal Lamar.
If you follow baseball at all, and especially baseball history, you may remember a heralded Atlanta outfielder named Mac Jones. A native son and graduate of Atlanta's Henry McNeil Turner High School, Jones played semi-professional ball with the Rockdale Rawhide before getting picked up by the Milwaukee Braves, now the Atlanta Braves, in 1958. Jones debuted on the diamond in 1961 and accounted well for himself, going 4 for 4 at the plate. Now, in 1964, Jones was loaned by the Braves to the Detroit Tigers AAA farm team in Syracuse, New York, and did well enough there to be eventually enshrined in that city's Hall of Fame and later into the International League's Hall in 2013. We lost Brother Jones, who we all called Mac the Knife, to cancer in 2004. This is Hal Lamar. Now back to Straight Talk with Shannon Jones and Greg Fann, the Preacher Man.
You've been in tune to Black History Facts with Hal Lamar. Tune in next week with Black History Facts right here on Straight Talk. Well, we're now on the other side, Shannon and I. We're finna bring on Councilwoman Sharon Shropshire, and we had some discussion. We were over at had opportunity. Councilwoman Karen Renee, who is the Ward B at large council person, who's also the vice president of the NHP, along with Richard Rose and others. They had a back to school giveaway, and I was able to capture them at the back to school giveaway at the Montel Home, which is a housing project in the city of East Point. So I captured her and both Commissioner Marvin Arrington for District 5. We talked about numerous of things, but with all these people being set out in these federal dollars, I kind of talked to them about a little bit about their opinions on this distribution of this money and how it ought to be distributed, and the problem as to why the money is not getting to the people to keep them in their homes or their apartments.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I know that's something that you and your organization, CBC, has been definitely dealing with.
Absolutely. We had Commissioner Abdul Rahman on, 6th District, Fulton County Commission, to talk about just some of the challenges that are going on. And it's really fraudulent because it's being held up, through this state. And then they're dripping, whatever they want to drip out. But they're trying to force people into menial work in order to get the jobs numbers up. And the reality of it is that they're crushing Georgians. They're crushing the people of metro area by just starving people and keeping the funds from them, keeping they're getting ready to cut back on I was reading the other day, getting ready to cut back on some of the food program stuff. You know, so it's just the whole thing is just it's evil, man.
Well, you know what? I'm glad you said about the food program. I just want to say kudos to Councilmember Michael Julian Bond, who is definitely dealing with the food and food deserts and trying to make sure that people are getting that food that need food. He did something week before last with back to school bill bags and giving away food, and then he continues to doing this throughout the city because he's citywide, and he's actually really going in areas where there are food deserts and making sure that families do have something to eat. And kudos to you, Councilmember Michael Julian Bond. So we're going to go to the other side now, and we're going to be talking about that mayor's race after a while, that City of Atlanta mayor's race. I mean, we're going to be talking about that. Not in this edition. Oh, we didn't thank our people for making comments last week. I mean, we got numerous comments from people who about the insurrection. You got to do that before we go into with Councilwoman Shropshire.
Can we read some of them?
Yeah. Well, I don't trying to get to them. We're going to have to come up with a way of reading those comments because there were so many of them that people, and thank you so much for your comments and people saying great job, thank you for the information we didn't know, keep us informed of what's going on. That's why I said this program is an informative program. Keep us informed of what's going on and keep your comments coming too. Maybe you want us to talk about something else. We're here, we're open to do just that. Well, we're going to stop now and have Councilwoman Sharon Shropshire. Then after Councilwoman Shropshire, then we'll have Commissioner Marvin Arrington. Then we'll come back with Representative Roger Bruce, because Representative Roger Bruce, he had some interesting things to talk about too.
He's got a good idea.
He does. He talks about this thing in terms of what the Democrats, the Republicans have done and stopped the. But we'll talk about that when we come back to him. But let's go on now to Councilwoman Shropshire and then to Commissioner Marvin Arrington. Well, I'm here now with Councilwoman, Mayor Pro Tem of the city of East Point, Georgia, Sharon Shropshire. Hey, Sharon.
Hey, how you doing?
If I was doing any better, I'd be doing great because I'm with you. Tell us a little bit about you out here today with this back to school giveaway and over here in the Montauk home housing projects. I know you have always fought for the people, and kids are going back to school, and you guys want to make sure they got book bags and some other things. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yes, we're over here at Montauk Homes, along with the NAACP and East Point Housing Authority, as well as Morehouse School of Medicine. And what we're doing is they're giving out school supplies, book bags, shoes for the kids for when they go back to school, and other things just to make sure that they have what they need to go back and to make sure that they are prepared for what's ahead of them.
Okay, now there's a lot of things that's going on today, with this variance and everything. What's your position in terms of kids returning back to school with what's going on with the uptick in this Delta virus?
Well, my position is I know that the kids are falling behind, and the teachers, they have to learn, but they have to do it in a safe way to keep everybody safe, so they don't get sick and we don't go into another shutdown. So it has to be done in a safe way, and we know that our kids are mainly some of the ones who fall behind in school. So going back to school, I have mixed feelings, but I know that it's something that has to be done, because when the kids are at home, a lot of them don't have access to computers and internet. So actually going back might be the better thing, so they can continue to learn and grow, but also make sure that it's done in a safe way.
Okay. Have you kept up with the numbers, looking at the numbers in terms of how many kids may be now being tested positive? I know that there's no vaccine for certain age kids, but have you been looking at that and studying that at all as you were planning this, as you guys were planning this event?
We have looked at the numbers. I know the NAACP has looked at the numbers, and for our community, the numbers are very low. There's certain parts of East Point that are at a 17% rate. There's certain parts of East Point that are at a 22% rate. But we have to talk to our friends and neighbors and loved ones and encourage them to get vaccinated. That is the only way we're going to get past the point that we're at. And then people have to remember, we're also going into flu season, which actually starts this month. So we have two things to tackle, but mainly we have to encourage people to get vaccinated.
Okay. Now, I'm going to segue a little bit here in terms of the housing issue, the rental system. Did the city receive any funds to help with rental system or housing system through the federal money that came down? I know that I know county did, the state did. Did the city of East Point receive any money?
I believe they did.
Okay.
They put out information. Not only did they receive money for rental assistance, but they also received it to help pay utility bills. And it was the money through the federal that was distributed to the county, and the county then distributed the money to the cities.
Okay, so you all have a program still set up to help people like that at this time?
That I would have to check in, but I'm almost sure that we do, because I know people were calling to get on the list. And I believe they're actually still going through the information.
Okay. All right. Then we're good. Good. You got anything else you want to say about the great work that you've been doing here in the city of East Point, and how, things that have prospered in this city since you've been on the council?
Well, the things that I've been doing personally, as you know, we continue with the food distribution every week. We also, one of my started programs is we deliver food to the senior citizens who are not able to get out and who can't get food. We also have a Clean City Initiative, which is for senior citizens who are not able to maintain their yard. You call in to 404-270-7091 and you get on the list, and we have men of intelligence. They actually work with this program to come out and clean your yard. We do have Martin Luther King Day of Service, where we give back to the community. And there are many things that I'm involved in that helps the community. One of the things also was the blighted property tax. That's increasing the taxes on the blighted property. And once they come up to code standard, then the tax go down. So that kind of helps your city when you have blighted houses in your community, that tax is higher than what your tax is. And the city will be voting this month, maybe the first Monday in September, not to increase your property tax, where it's actually going down. But your property values will most likely go up. But just know the city is not increasing your taxes.
Yeah, we know about that. You have to watch them county and state folks going up on taxes because of the property values going up. Well, I appreciate it very much. You did mention, you guys on your tenure there, you guys have built a brand new city hall.
That's correct.
You've done some streetscaping. You've done some improvement in the parks. I mean, a lot of stuff that you. I know you can talk about it. There's so much, but I want to tell it myself because I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying seeing the progress of the city of East Point. New business coming in. The city is growing. The housing market is going up, and I just thank you so much for your service to the city of East Point and the hard work and diligence you do. Is there anything closing statement you want to make?
The only thing I want to say is that thank you all, and we will continue to grow this city. And remember, the city is doing the most, and the most is to help us with our infrastructure problem that we have, that we inherited. But we're working to make sure that we have that, and it will be on the ballot, and it's a 1% sale tax that will go towards your infrastructure. That's your aging pipes that's in the city that causes all these water main breaks that we have. But we're working to get that, and hopefully the most will pass. It's joined with the city of College Park, and I can't remember what other city it is, but I know hopefully it will benefit all of us that are in dire need of repairing infrastructure.
And hopefully, if the people in D.C. do the right thing and pass the infrastructure bill that the president is trying to get, you can get some of that money too.
Exactly, exactly.
Thank you so
exactly.
very much. All right, I'm here with Commissioner Marvin Arrington Jr. of the 5th Commission District, and we're here at a function here in the lovely city of East Point. There's no point like East Point. Greg Fann, the preacher man, here on Straight Talk. So, Commissioner, tell us, you're here with the kids. They're doing book bags, the NACP, and Morehouse School of Medicine, and other individuals doing things here today to support the school. You know, this COVID thing is, or the Delta variant is coming back. What's your position or feeling about this? I know the county has come up with rules that all employees now have to wear a mask, and certainly trying to get all county employees vaccinated. What about the kids? What about these kids in school, and what's your feeling on that?
Well, we have to protect our children and our seniors. They are the most vulnerable populations, and so whatever we can do to protect our children is what we have to do. So I'm happy with as many regulations as possible to make sure that our children are safe. I have 4 daughters. I want to make sure that they're safe, and I know everyone wants to make sure that their children are safe as they begin this new school year.
You know, they're talking about this masking and unmasking, not masking. How do your kids feel about being wearing masks in school?
Well, I treat it like this. I'd rather be safe than sorry.
Okay.
I'd rather have a mask. I got my mask right here. I'd rather be safe than sorry. I'd rather our children be safe than sorry. The last thing we want is for there to be an outbreak with children, especially with this Delta variant, which is a lot worse, has a lot worse symptoms than the original COVID-19.
Okay, I want to change subject a little bit. As we're looking at, we've been shut up for the last 17 months or so, right? So now, people didn't have jobs, couldn't pay their mortgage, couldn't pay their rent, and now we have this moratorium that was stayed to October, but yet people, because the moratorium was lifted earlier this week, and people were evicted, there's an outcry that why isn't the county doing more to help people from being evicted? Now, I do know that, of course, the DeKalb County judge, I forget her last name, First name is Jackie, and along with the commissioner out there, CEO rather, allowed it for money for the for rental assistance and mortgage payment. And so the judge, did an order that there would be no eviction, even though evictions once had been served. But in Fulton County, people were evicted. So what is the county's position now, or your position rather, on trying to help people with rental assistance or a mortgage assistance before October deadline?
So a lot in that question.
Yes.
So we've got to do everything we can to help people stay in their homes. That's just number one off the bat. The county did receive $34 million for rental assistance. We opened that up, and within 48 or 72 hours, all of that money was exhausted. We just got a second trough of money, and we're doing our second, I believe it's another $16 million. So we just announced we're doing our second rental assistance program. And so, we want to do all we can, but one of the things you mentioned that was in there is mortgage assistance.
Sure.
And so while renters are getting some relief and have gotten, at least 34 and now maybe another $16 million worth of relief in Fulton County, if you're a homeowner and you need help with your mortgage, you haven't gotten any assistance yet. Now, the rules and the regulations for this rescue plan says that the state is supposed to provide the mortgage assistance program. In Fulton County, we were ready to match. I think we had initially outlined about $30 million that we wanted to put towards mortgage assistance because we wanted the number for mortgage assistance to be similar to the rental assistance number, because in Fulton County, there are about 60% homeowners that are homeowners versus renters. So we wanted to try to allocate $30 million for that. But once we found out, we asked the lawyers, the state is the only one right now that can do the mortgage assistance. And if we do it, we may not be reimbursed. But we fully exhausted $34 million from the first rental assistance program in Fulton County, and we're now just launched our second rental assistance program in Fulton, and I believe that amount on the second one is $16 million.
How would a person apply for that if they needed it?
So we have a website, but just go to fultoncountyga.gov. It's on there prominently, and not only can renters apply, but the landlords can apply. So if you're a landlord and you haven't been getting your money, apply. Landlords and renters can apply for this money.
So if the landlord gets the money for the mortgage through this program, how does that benefit the homeowner that lives there?
Well, it allows them to continue to live there. The way the program is set up, the money does not go to the tenant. The money goes directly to the landlord to cover the rental.
Okay, so how does the owner know that that money has gone? And I need some of that water too. It's hot. How does the homeowner know that the landlord has gotten the money for their mortgage? How do they know?
Well, it's part of the application process. If you are a tenant and you apply, you put down your landlord's name and who you owe the money to, and then they inform that landlord that the money is coming on behalf of you, the tenant.
Okay.
If the landlord applies, then they have to put down the tenant's name, and then the tenant gets informed that the landlord has been paid for the rent.
Okay.
And so, to some extent, it's a win-win. We just got to make sure that we get as many people applying as possible.
All right, thank you so very much. Do you have anything else you want to say? I know you've been doing a heck of a job up there trying to do it the best you can, all you can to fight for the least, the less, the lost, and left out. So you don't have anything else you want to add?
Just happy to be in a position to be able to fight for the least, the less, and the left out. Happy to be in a position to help those who cannot help themselves. Happy to be here today in East Point to help with this back to school drive. As Pastor Holloman said, it takes a village to truly raise our children, to make sure that they succeed. And I'm glad to see that our community is embracing our children and make sure that they are day one ready to be successful at school.
Thank you so very much, Commissioner. Well, Shannon, I tell you, great interview set with the commissioner and the councilwoman talking about the schools and what they think about. The Delta virus is up, and like Commissioner Aarons just said, he got girls that's in school, and he's concerned about them. Mask up, show this mask up, do what you can do to protect yourself. But the most important thing you can do right now is to get the shot. Get the shot. And the rental assistance program that both of them talked about, the city is doing, has been doing, and City of East Point and the county has been doing and is doing, or attempting to do, in terms of helping people. But it's amazing, though, that when it comes to property owners, that the only way you can get mortgage assistance, it's got to be through the state.
Through the state. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That is amazing, isn't it?
It's trickery.
Hey, look at everything's got to be state controlled.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
The state control your getting monies for your mortgage, and your landlord has to apply for the money and for your mortgage. But if the landlord wants to foreclose on you to get the property back, to take your equity that you have in that property, the landlord may not apply for that money for your mortgage.
That's right.
So you can lose your home and you can lose your equity that you have in that property.
Yep.
It's
called the empire. It's an imperial mindset that is, we're seeing this thing. I mean, I know these are state laws.
Sure.
Right. But if we've just watched what has happened in terms of what the state is allocated from what came down the pike and how they're holding things and causing, it just shows you that Trumpian mindset is being played out in the way that the state is doling out
the dollars
to people.
We could go back,
controlling the narrative.
We could go back to the labor commissioner the money that came and people never got their unemployment money? I mean, we can go on with that. We can go on with that. Boy, we got to get us another labor commission. Ain't no doubt about that. He has got to go.
That's right.
He has got to go. But anyway, with that being said, we're going to bring a Representative Bruce, who's talking about a strategy or a plan to get people to vote, because we learned that we got to play out their book. The dogs are barking. The dogs are barking. The dogs are barking. The dogs are barking. Yeah. But we understood. We early voted. I mean, absentee voted. They killed us now on the absentee voter, because they're going to be able to control by looking at signatures and say, oh, these signatures don't match. This don't match. This don't match. So he's talking about something that we've been talking about through VEC in terms of getting people to vote early and in large numbers to turn out the vote. But he's talking about something a little bit more about what we can do and what we ought to do. Here's Representative Roger Bruce, and we'll be back on the other side. You saying we can't go back because that's what trying to do is to take us back, right?
Exactly. They want to take us back in time, and you and I both know. I mean, I don't know if I'm older than you or not, but
you older than me. I can tell you that you older than me.
We both have experienced some things in our lives that we don't want to go back to.
Absolutely.
And you know, I can remember seeing the Ku Klux Klan, you know, march around that Capitol because we put Dr. King's picture up there. And you know, we just don't need to go back to that stuff. You know, where people are threatening folks and doing things to prevent them from exercising their constitutional right to vote.
You know, I think you've stood up to speak against it. But what can we do? Honestly, what can we do? Because that's what people are saying. What can we do?
Well, in this particular instance, you know, we're going through legal action. You know, we've got several organizations that have filed lawsuits to try to get the law thrown out. But until that happens, you know, I think the thing that we have to do is turn out in such large numbers that nobody can challenge the outcome of the election. You know, if we're talking, you know, 400 or 500 votes, they can challenge that. But if we're talking 4,000 or 5,000 votes, they can't challenge that. Mm-hmm. And I think that we're going to have to, you know, be serious and deliberate about making sure that people go to the polls, cast their vote, and do it in such a way, as I said, so that no one could feel that they have the ability to say it was something fraudulent.
Well, Roger, I certainly agree with you. Matter of fact, working with the organization that Reverend Love started, VEC, as you know, that's what we were just saying to people: vote early and vote early and vote in numbers, because the whole thing is the absentee ballot. We whooped them with the absentee. Now we got to turn them out. We got to turn them out.
You know, something else I thought about, you know, and I want you to tell me what you think about it.
Okay.
You know, they cut down the early voting locations. They cut back so we don't have as many as we once did. What if we, you know, all of us, you know, we got some buses and some cars and some vans, and we go out to the north side and vote early. Back up their polling places, you know, create lines in their communities for early voting. What do you think would happen then?
I think that they would be shocked as hell. Hey, Roger, we do it like they did back in the 60s and late 50s, where they got right, put them in suits and there's certain tie laces with their hats on, and put your gloves on and go up there and do a reenactment of how we went to the polls to vote when we got the opportunity to vote and go right up there in their polls.
Go up to the north side.
To the north side.
Let's create some line.
I agree. I think that's a great strategy, and I think we need to employ it.
Well, I don't know how to get it done, but I think it's a good thing to do.
Well, you know, some of us do.
That's what we need.
You cutting out.
Jose would know how.
Yeah, Jose would know how to do it,
Would know how to do that.
Yeah, listen, we're gonna know how to do it too. That's a great strategy. That's a great idea. Just get buses and van loads of people and take them to the polls to vote early. March them to, you know that.
But early on the north side.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Growing up on the Reverend Abernathy, the song that we used to sing every first Sunday was, "We're marching to Zion, that beautiful city of God." We're marching to Zion. So we're going to march to the north side in record numbers and an early vote. That's a great strategy. Let's do it. Let's do this, as Reverend Love would say. Let's do this.
That's right.
Let's do this.
And I bet you they'll give us some more polls on the south side. Keep them up there.
You know that's real. You know that's real. But listen, I thank you so much for what you do and what you're doing, and continue, be encouraged and continue to fight the good fight of faith, and stand up for the people, because it's all about the people and it's all about our democracy and fairness in voting.
That's exactly right. We're at a point in time where, they create the rules. We didn't create the rules; they created them. And then, as long as the rules worked for them, they were okay. But when we figured out how to work with their rules and overcome, then they won't change the rules.
Mm-hmm.
And my fear is that that's what happened with this with our government. We are in a democratic form of government. We vote. We have a peaceful transition of power. That's what we do. And as long as they were in control of that form of government was what they wanted. Now that we have figured it out, and we're electing people of color and to these positions, they don't like it anymore.
Right.
So are they now trying to change our form of government? Do they want us to look like how South Africa used to look with apartheid? I mean, what's going on?
Well, it looks like that's what's going on.
Conclusion. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
well,
we just can't let that happen.
Well, you keep on doing what you're doing because you're breaking up, but you keep on doing what you're doing. We'll appreciate you, and we're in the fight with you, Roger Bruce.
All right, my friend.
All right, buddy. You have a good one.
All right.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thanks, Representative Roger Bruce, for sharing his thoughts and opinions. And I agree. Bishop Greg Fann, the preacher man, inviting you to join us for a better understanding of dementia in the African American community on August the 26th from 7 to 8. The biggest problem we are faced with, or one of the problems we're faced with our families being shed in during these 17 months or more, is dementia. How do we deal with family members and friends and loved ones who have dementia? Well, there will be an individual who has dementia to talk about the problems they deal with and they face with dementia. You don't want to miss this valuable webinar and discussion on August the 26th from 7 to 8. Please register and be a part. The number is 770-686-7666. 7730. Again, call to register at 770-686-7730. It ain't nothing but straight talk. Well, we want to thank you again, as always, to watching Straight Talk. Representative Brooks gave us a plan. Let's vote early. Let's vote in numbers.
Yeah.
Let's prove to the Republicans Party that we are going to vote. As I said let's do like we did in the 60s, and when we got the right to vote. Let's dress ladies in your nice hat and gloves. Men wear your suits. Let's go up there and do a reenactment of the 60s, right? And take bus loads and go in station wagons and vans and buses and go north. We're not going to go south. We're going to go north. Well, we're going to Freedom. That's why they were running the Freedom going north.
Freedom.
Oh,
yes, sir. We're going north.
Let's go
follow the North Star.
Follow the North Star. Let's follow the North Star and go north. And let's take buses and let's take vans. Let's take cars and let's go to their polls and their precincts and let's vote early.
Yes.
And vote early, and let them show that we ain't gonna take it no more. You can do this and you can do that, but this is what we're gonna do because we're gonna save this democracy.
You hear it?
What you hear? The dogs barking again?
No. The black folk is coming.
Black folks is coming.
Black folk is coming.
Black folks is coming.
Black folks is coming.
Coming!
They're coming to vote.
We're coming. Listen, don't forget. Hey, please sign up for the dementia webinar. Learn more about dementia, how it is affecting the African American community, because perhaps you have someone in your family that's dealing with it, and perhaps you may be having some signs of it yourself, but find out more and more about it. Well, we want to keep you informed right here on Straight Talk with yours truly, Greg Fann, the preacher man, and Shanan E. Jones. Tune in each and every week. We're right here. And like us on our YouTube channel, subscribe to it, and keep those comments coming. We appreciate you. The Reverend Ron Allen, he's a regular watcher, regular viewer. Trina Bangs, we just thank you so much. Joyce, we thank you so much for your comments. Eddie Lee Brewster, we thank you for your comments. I'm just calling names of people who are making comments, but there are numerous of others that are making comments, and we thank you so very much for making your comments. Even all the way from Pittsburgh, the Reverend Montel Crawford, he watches regularly. He makes his comment. Thank all of you. We're just not local to Atlanta. We are worldwide. So keep on checking us out. And I want to say to Brother Horace Jones, Horace, we hadn't heard from you in a minute. We want to hear from you. Thank you so very much. Shannon, what you got to say?
Can my own family watch? I mean, you got Pastor Montel in Pittsburgh or in Pennsylvania. Daddy not even watching. Lord God. Sunday I preached virtually. I said, Dad, was you on? No, I was watching my other son preach. But you a member of my church. You understand? You watching my brother preach at the same time. Well,
he got to spread the love. He has to spread the love, Shannon.
Yeah,
you can't get all the love.
So you're a member of the church. He on the board. Jesus. Lord. So Lord, can you please watch?
Check him out. Check him out. Check you out the Gathering Church on Sunday mornings. Tell them your time, your information about how they can check you out.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you can go to Facebook Live, and we put out a link every week at www.gathering BCATL at facebook.com, or you go to www.facebook.com/The Gathering ATL. Again, www.facebook.com/The Gathering ATL, all together, 11 a.m.
All right, and you can check us out each and every Sunday morning at Liberty International Church. You can go out to our website at libertyintministry.com, or you can check us out on our YouTube page at Liberty International Church beginning at 10 a.m. with yours truly, Greg Fann, the Preacher Man. Until next week, we hope that you keep those comments coming, and we look forward to them. And don't you forget that you've been watching what? Straight Talk!
Want to be a guest on Straight Talk? Email Greg Fann at FANN922@Comcast.net or call 404-308-0795. Join us again for another episode of Straight Talk with Shanan Jones and Greg Fann, the Preacher Man.